No tea, just water. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Naya Naomi, and today I'm going to be talking about my Brave New Voices experience. Now, if you do not know what Brave New Voices is, it is a poetry and music festival where kids from all around the world, we come together, we do slam poetry, and we compete a little bit, but it is not all about the competition. The points are not the points. The point is poetry. I found out about Brave New Voices circa 2008, maybe. It was a few years back when it was filming on HBO, and I was sitting in my uncle's living room. Coming up, I started writing in 5th grade, and so I just wanted to learn more about this art form. I wanted to learn more about how to expand my voice to the masses. I wanted to learn how to transform my language to speak to more audiences and different crowds, how to just connect with people on like a deep and spiritual level. And so he was teaching me how to do that. It does not film on HBO anymore. I later on found out about different collectives like Drawbridge and the Strivers Row. As I live in the 757, I found a youth organization in my area that had a spoken word slam team. And me personally, I had never been on a slam team before. All I know is that I write poetry. I want to get into it. So I found out about this organization 2 years. It was maybe 2014 where I joined this youth organization. My time being there, I'm still a part of this organization now, obviously. Time being there has been amazing. I bet they don't even know this, and I found out about them 3 years before I even joined. But yeah, I found out about them 3 years later. And I joined not just because I wanted to be a part of the poetry team. Initially, that is why I joined. But being there, learning about the community service aspect, learning how to connect with the community, how words can literally change and save lives. Like, I learned what it really means to say that power of life and death is in the power of your tongue. You can get healed, you can get free, and you can help somebody else do the same. And so poetry has literally been a healer for me. It has saved my life in so many ways, and I'm so thankful that God has even given me this gift and given me opportunities to be on platforms and to meet beautiful people and to sit in the audience, hear a poem, and get mad about the poem because you felt disrespected by it, and in that same atmosphere, like, have dialogue and conversation and sit in the audience right after you hear that piece and then hear another one that may make a little more sense to you, may touch you in a new way, in a deeper sense, and have conversations in these safe spaces where, like, people might get mad, but you know these spaces we create, they are safe spaces where we are able to share our differences and opinions and our life experiences, and it's afforded me a great experience, and I love it. Alright, boom. My first time going to Brave New Voices, we were in Atlanta on Emory University. It was hot like fire. We were staying in the dorms, and it was so beautiful. Like, I had never seen so much young people doing the same thing that I do, and everyone was happy, everyone was excited. It did not feel like a popularity competition. I made so many friends that year. There was a little bit of drama, but that's expected when you put a bunch of high schoolers together on a college campus for 5 days or so. The way Brave New Voices works, it's like a big rally in the beginning, like a kickoff. Then we have maybe a day or two of just town halls where we are talking about the world, literally. Like, we're talking about social justice issues, we're talking about the environment, we're talking about American poverty, we're talking about things that affect youth around the world, not just America, but around the entire world. And we have heart to hearts with each other. Then after those 2 days, we do a day of just like competing slam poetry. And the next day, it may be like the Life is Living thing where we were able to go out into the community of wherever we're at in the US. We just impact that community in positive and healthy ways. Then the last day is like the big grand slam finale, and then we have a big party at the end, and we go home and we marinate on this experience. This year was actually kind of different. 2016 Brave New Voices, that was the 2015 one I was talking about. 2016 Brave New Voices this year was an experience for me, and that's why I took so long to make this video, because I really had to figure out what it was for me this year and what it meant for me. Even slamming was different. Battling with, I don't want to say battling, but just going through the process with the organization I was with, my team. I can honestly say we've never been as close as we are right now because of the experience that we had at Brave New Voices this year. Unlike most teams, I feel like we had a late start this year. All year long, we're doing community service activities, in camps and poetry intensives every Tuesday, things like that. Our slam season was an interesting slam season just to create the team. We got our coach late in the game. Brave New Voices is always in the summertime. We got our coach a month before Brave New Voices. Now listen, writing, memorizing, adding choreography is not easy. Jasmine Mans was our coach this year. If you know me, you know I adore this woman. One day I was watching her on YouTube, and the next day she was our coach, and I freaked out. Like, she FaceTimed us to speak to us, and I cried. Able to like work with her in this space was a bomb. He was like, I understand y'all want to win, but I want to make y'all into better writers. I want you guys to respect this art form. And when we got our coach, she was like, all right, boom, let's write like 13 new poems. This is the challenge. We sat down over the phone and we were picking out topics on Google Doc for like the next 2 weeks after that. And we would hand them to her via email or whatever, and she like edit them and shred them down, and like we would just like build them back up. And so it was like this constant process of like breaking down, building them back up, and like breaking them down again. And then like as soon as we like had different pieces that like we thought were like the bomb, and it was juxtaposed to her end, and then we agreed on these poems. The list went from maybe like, it was like 15 to 13, and those pieces that we had, even in combination with some of our individual poems, became like our foundation going into the competition. We were tired, but I think our chant was, everybody wants to be Beyonce, don't nobody want to put the work in, everybody want to be famous, don't nobody want to put the work in, everybody want to be fed up, don't nobody want to lose out. So we were cool with it, honestly. Truly, honestly. Our stories were different, so I felt like my team was so unique. We kind of stepped outside the box and outside of ourselves, even outside of our comfort zone. We had never done choreography before. We just kind of took what we learned from other people and internalized it within ourselves, within our own group. Here, the theme for Brave New Voices was I Am to America, and it was interesting to me that a lot of people had, I don't want to say they weren't supportive of the theme this year, but a lot of people had a lot of different discrepancies, because you have kids coming from Africa, England, London, truly, honestly, an American or have American experiences, but have experienced America in different ways. And you have a lot of people in America that don't like America in light of everything that had just been going on. Philando Castile had died. We had Alton Sterling. We had and it was all of these things going on. And then we have this I Am to America. They opened up the event with the Langston Hughes poem. It was appropriate. And in our other discussions, I went to sessions talking about American poverty. I felt it in a very personal, spiritual level, because to hear all these different experiences that young people are having, and then we want to go back out into the world and become policymakers to prevent some of these things from happening to other young people. And it's not about changing the world, but it's about changing our surroundings and doing what we can about changing our surroundings. One of the things I really did like was that we did get a chance to walk around DC. It's very, very hot, and a lot of people were not able to buy Ubers and do things like that to get around, but at least I kind of knew the city, so I got to take my teammates to a few museums, and we walked around and learned some history and seen the monument. We got to do an open mic in front of the monument. We got to go see Dr. Martin Luther King's monument. We got to take a large group picture with everybody in front of that. We just had great family times. I do wish that next year the students who are there, we get to know each other, because this year, unlike the other year that I went, it did kind of feel like, I don't want to say a popularity competition, but we were kind of divided and not as unified as I would have wanted everybody to be. I do believe that's because everybody was high and bothered. So, the thing that I can say I really did not like about Brave New Voices this year was the very end, because there was a lot of politics going on behind the scenes, and I feel like it distracted the purpose of all of us being there. Now, I did not share my excitement with being on final stage. It was my team's first year being on final stage. We won second place, which was very, very lit. But before that, started looking in, it was like the way up getting to final stage was, for lack of a better word, I'll say it was shady to them, I guess. After the fact, I understood what the protest was about before the final slam. But sitting, like, you gotta imagine, like, sitting on front row, about to perform, and then out of nowhere, you have, like, all these teams standing up, and they're like, ah, like, they're, like, not screaming like that, but people were upset. But I just feel like, even in knowledge of that, because this is a safe space, if people are offended, if people are angry, if people are disappointed, if people feel like they've been cheated, this is the space to talk about it. So they had the protest, and everything ran over smoother than I thought they would, and it was healthy for our environment, for what we were doing, for what we were standing for what we were at BNV for. Again, the point is not the points, the point is the poetry. The highlights of this experience for me was, of course, working with Jasmine Mans, meeting all the people I met at Brave New Voices, because I know in the future we're going to be some bomb artists. We're making history, like performing at the Kennedy Center at 18. I was in tears. Basically, I was in tears the whole time. Everyone can say that they did that or that they've done that. And even in the beginning, I didn't really understand the significance of this place, but the more like I did my own personal like research on what this place means for the theater and performing arts world, it was like, whoa. I overcame some things because I got sick a week before and my voice was shot the entire week. Performing with no voice was a struggle. I was very, very frustrated. I feel like my coach, she saw me as like, she did see me as one of those mature people on the team, she would say. And even though there's like 2 other people that were older than me, she put me in a leadership position that forced me to have a better work ethic, to be on time, to be held accountable, and to hold other people accountable. So I was stretched during this process. I had no voice, so I literally had to push myself beyond whatever was holding me back from being 100%. I felt like I had to give 110. I was drinking hot tea. I would fill this up with hot water, 6 Ricolas, and tea bags, 3 tea bags. It would be piping hot, and I would hold it around, and I'd be drinking out of it. And every time I take a sip, my voice would light up, and yeah, it helped me so much. After this, after Brave New Voices, I feel like I went straight down to Florida for family vacation. So like right after this, I had left. Hopefully next year, Brave New Voices, I know it's going to be in California because it's going to be their 20th year, I believe. Prayerfully, it'll be an even better experience, more inclusive of everybody that's actually going to be there internationally, can tap in with us and feel us on that. We did a lot of walking, so I got a lot of exercise. And one day, we were on East Street going to slams because that was the day of the bouts and everything. Y'all know I explained how it works in the beginning of the video. But like, I was walking in heels because me, you know, I like to be cute. But I literally thought we was gonna get off the bus, because there's a bus that takes us over to East Street. So they're okay, we're gonna get off the bus and we're just gonna walk right into the bouts. Like, they're gonna be lined up. No, honey, we had to go on scavenger hunts, which was another thing I didn't like. So we got off the bus. I'm literally walking around like maybe 7 blocks, like in heels, like my feet were on fire. But I was not about to let nobody know that I was in pain, because everybody was already looking at me like, why is she wearing heels? Like, why is she trying to be so cute? And it was like, I wasn't trying to be cute. It was just like, that's just how I am. Like, I wear heels on a regular day basis, so I didn't think it was gonna be that big of a deal. But walking in this heat and these heels, like, I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please thumbs up, subscribe. Head over to the Youth Speaks channel to watch everyone's poems, because everybody was amazing. Again, please subscribe. Follow me on all social media at only9naomi on Twitter, Instagram. Please check out my blog site at only9naomi.com and follow me on Snapchat at 9naomi. Crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.